Hi, I'm Mike Ridley and welcome to PowerBoat Television. This week on the show it's been kind of special. We've been sort of doing that planes, trains and automobile, but in this case it's been planes and boats from Ontario to the beautiful Sunshine Coast of British Columbia. So stay with us as we tour this popular cruising ground. We had just driven into Back Eddy Marina in Egmont, direct from Vancouver International, to locate our charter boat from Nanaimo Yacht Charters. Tucked away on the approach to the Skookumchuck Narrows, the marina was an ideal jumping-off point for our cruise to Princess Louisa Inlet and the Marine Park. I spotted our boat on the main dock and headed down there to meet Al Brown, our host for the next few days. You must be Al.
I am.
Mike Ridley, Al, pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Thank you very much for bringing your boat over and hosting us here. I guess we're all set to go?
We are. We got a beautiful day and we got a great journey ahead of us, and you're going to see lots of fantastic stuff.
Looking for great stuff. Going to give you a hand with this.
That'd be great. Thank you.
What's easiest? You put it back here? Yeah.
After getting our gear aboard, I helped Al with the lines and we were underway. Departing at low tide, according to Al, was going to be to our benefit.
So we're going right into a flood, which is really good.
So you say that this is on a flood tide, so it's bringing water inland, and we've got a spot we have to go through that we have to time it to slack tide?
Yes, going into Princess Louisa Inlet, there's a place called Malibu Rapids, and it's very rocky, very narrow, and we want to hit that right at slack, which is about 5:17 today.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll leave the timing to you.
Okay, perfect.
It's your waters.
Yeah, all right.
Within minutes of departing the marina, while crossing the last stretch of Jervis Inlet, the panorama of the Pacific Coast Mountains was all around us. We could not have found better weather for a few days on the Sunshine Coast. The water was flat, the skies clear, and the temperature was comfortable.
Well, Mike, I'm going to let you take over. I don't know if you can handle this or not. It's a big job, okay?
Yeah,
You'll have gray hair when you're done.
Yes, like yours?
Yeah, like mine.
Okay.
As we progressed up the inlet towards Prince of Wales Reach, the foothills on either side showed signs of selective logging over the years and a still active quarry, some of the only signs of man's impact in the area. With light winds and a crystal clear blue sky, the waters took on a beautiful hue and reflected the landscape all along the shoreline. On occasion, other boats would overtake us with our slow pace of 8 knots. With the balance of the afternoon to reach our destination for the night, we were in no hurry. All we had to do was sit back, relax, and take in our surroundings. Along the stretch is one of the few bays you can pull a boat into, Vancouver Harbor. While there is some commercial activity here, you can move to a quiet corner and anchor. Our detour was driven by the desire to spot a bear along the shore, but we had no luck. Exiting Vancouver Harbor and tracking water depth illustrated the changing topography under the water. Suddenly the depth on the sonar passed 1,000 feet, and then it steadied between 800 and 900 feet. From Vancouver Harbor, we had only a short distance to cruise before reaching Princess Louisa Inlet, so I settled in to soak up more of the Sunshine Coast's stellar scenery.
Join us later in the show as we make our way towards Princess Louisa Inlet. Hi, welcome back to the show. Well, we're just arriving outside of Princess Louisa Inlet here, and as you remember what Al and I were talking about earlier in the show, he mentioned that you have to go through the Malibu Rapids here. So we've been waiting and timing the trip up to arrive here as it heads towards slack tide, because at the peak, the current going through the Malibu Rapids here is 9 knots, so you have to wait for that to calm down to make your passage.
The closer we got to Malibu, the more impressive this part of the Pacific mountain range became, with some peaks soaring to 2,400 meters above us. The snow-capped peaks continued to feed streams and waterfalls even in mid-September.
So on our way in, on the left side, you're going to see a building. It was built in 1945 for Hollywood people to come and vacation at. And since then, it's gone through a few owners. And today is a camp for young people to come to. And it's absolutely beautiful.
As we headed towards the entrance to the inlet, your window for passage may vary depending on the type of vessel and its ability to handle currents.
So Mike, we're just going to head into the rapids now, and we want to stay in the blue zone. However, there's one rock awash on the right-hand side, so you want to stay to the left of that. And other than that, just stay in the blue and we'll go right through, and before you know it, we'll be in 300 feet of water again.
We had arrived early, but after observing the flow past the island, it was determined that we could motor through given the Meridian size and power from twin diesels. Within minutes we were through and cruising up the calmer waters of Princess Louisa Inlet. And just past Malibu Narrows, kids at the camp were having a blast in the September sun. All we had to do was sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise up the inlet into Princess Louisa Marine Park. Looking up the mountainsides, you can see the path through the trees where some of the spring runoff cascades down 13 waterfalls to the inlet. Rounding the last turn to the end of the inlet, Chatterbox Falls revealed itself, sparkling in the afternoon sun. While it may have been September, the number of boats on the park dock reflect just how popular Chatterbox Falls are even at this time of year. Secured for the day, we were glad to be stepping ashore to explore the park and get up close and personal with the falls. I was pleased to read that not only was Princess Louisa Inlet a provincial marine park, but in 2002, the Nature Conservancy had joined with the Princess Louisa Inlet Association to protect additional lands around the park. Walking the pathways, I quickly realized I was deep into a West Coast rainforest. On shore, one can find a shelter with picnic tables and a fire pit and campsites for kayakers and visitors arriving in small craft. But it's really all about the falls.
Here we are at the top of Princess Louisa Inlet at the spectacular Chatterbox Falls. So it's been a wonderful experience. Now, if you consider yourself a cruiser that needs to explore or a brand new boater, take a course and study about bareboat chartering. Come to BC to the Sunshine Coast, bareboat charter a craft anywhere along the coast and come exploring. You will not regret it.
As the late day sun passed behind the mountains, it was our time to sit back looking out over the inlet and marvel at the wilderness so readily accessible by boat.